Hawks.
Today's date is Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today's lunch is a choice of turkey pot roast with mashed potatoes and southern biscuit, chicken popper wrap with lettuce tomato cup, or a cheddar chicken Caesar salad.
And the sides are cross-tracks fries, baked beans, applesauce smoothie, or fresh fruit.
For any girls interested in soccer, please see Mr. Carr.
Also, a friendly reminder that there is a band fundraiser at Miapa today.
Now to Mr. Campbell for the rest of the announcements.
Hey, good morning, Hawks. Here we are, Wednesday, February the 24th, halfway through the final week in February. Can you believe it? Wow. First of all, apologies for the terrible audio yesterday. Apparently, I wasted everybody's time. And I realized afterwards that it was because the microphone wasn't picking up. I think probably because they weren't turned on all the way. That's what happens when you're in a rush to try to get things done quickly and move on. So, my apologies for that. And I tested out the audio just now, sounded good. So hopefully you are all hearing it well. All right, big congratulations to the Lady Hawks and Boys Hawks basketball teams. Both teams had solid wins over High Springs Community School. I call them the Country Hawks. When you pull up and see lots of pickup trucks outside, you know you're playing the Country Hawks. Our girls, when I showed up, they were leading 38-30 in the fourth quarter, but they had to hold off a spirited High Springs team. And as Coach Lares kept telling them during the timeout, you got to play defense. These girls aren't going to quit. So our team played some defense, got a few more points, and came away with the W. Way to go, ladies. And the guys took on a tall High Springs team and took the game over from the start. Very stingy defense, kind of shut them down. I think High Springs had one basket the whole first quarter. And we emptied our bench, got everybody in there. Great teamwork, fast moving, never give up. Some good shooting as well. Boys came away with a W. Today, both teams are playing Mabane, and Mabane's got a decent record. So we're going to have to bring our A game, and hopefully we're peaking right before the playoffs here. So good luck to our basketball teams today. Today's spotlight in local African American history. Believe it or not, it took me a long time to shrink down this picture. And it's kind of I know it's a blurred picture because it's not really a photograph, it's a painting. But this is Mr. C.W. Norton, for whom Norton Elementary School is named. What does C.W. stand for, you may ask? Cornelius Wilbert. That was his full name. Mr. Norton was born a long, long time ago. Couldn't even find out just when he was born. I do know he graduated high school in 1936. So subtract 18 from there. What do you get? And of course, back then, there weren't a lot of educational opportunities for African-American students around Alachua County. He was born, I believe, in Fort White, lived there, and then moved around to Archer. And it was very rural at the time. I had a hard time finding out much information about Mr. Norton. Matter of fact, I couldn't even find a photo. I had to text Miss Mayo, who's the Norton principal now, and say, hey, do you have a photo of your namesake? And she sent me this, which is, as you can tell from the resolution there, not really a photo, it's a drawing. I left up my light. Anyway, he decided he wanted to become a teacher early, and he started teaching back in 1942, if you can believe that. Went back to Bethune-Cookman College, got a 4-year degree, and returned as a teacher. And they made him principal of some of the African-American schools around Archer. And then they brought him into Gainesville. They liked his work, and he was what they called back then a supervisor of schools, and traveled around the district. And then they made him principal at Williams Elementary. He was principal at Williams. He was principal at Sidney Lanier. And what was back then Kirby Smith, that's where our school board district headquarters are right now. It's called district offices, no longer Kirby Smith, but that used to be an elementary school. And of course, he did all this supervisor of schools and principal in the 1950s. So this was way, way back. I never knew this. So thanks to Ms. Brown for suggesting Mr. Norton as our person in the spotlight today. It was a good one. So I've had a lot of fun researching these people and finding out different things about them. And that's what this is all about. And again, he was a real pioneer that worked hard for students. One thing he was saying back when things were so rural that a lot of kids had to go work in the fields picking tobacco, picking peanuts, and they'd have to leave school on account of that. And teachers would bring them their assignments. That's how committed their teachers were to their education. And so, it was tough. You can imagine working in the fields like that. Not an easy life. So salute to Mr. Norton, and not even sure when he passed away. The interview I read with him was from Mr. Buchanan, who conducted the interview, and that was today's person to highlight, but that was done in 1984. So again, if it piques your interest a little bit, go ahead, use the internet and look up some things about these people. Wow, what terrific weather we're having here. We're spoiled. It's beautiful out, so let's get outside and enjoy it when we can, like at lunches. And students, we need to pick up after yourselves. You're doing a good job getting back up the hill on time, so we appreciate that. Again, you share the responsibilities. We'll give you the freedoms to go outside and have fun and socialize with your friends. Remember, let's be kind always. That's the kind of school we want to be. Work hard each and every one of your classes so you pass and excel. Do well. Set yourself up for success later on. Finally, give someone a compliment during the day. When you receive a compliment, look that person in the eye and say thank you. All right, let's have a wonderful Wednesday, Hawks. Ciao.
Bayard Rustin was a key figure in the civil rights movement and was the main organizer of the March on Washington.
He was born in Pennsylvania in 1912. He had no relationship with his father, and his 16-year-old mother, Florence, was so young, he thought she was his sister. As a child, he was taught Quaker values, which in his own words, quote, were based on the concept of a single human family and the belief that all members of that family are equal.
In 1947, he and the activist group CORE went on what was called the Journey of Reconciliation, a prototype to the freedom rides of 1961.
The idea for the March on Washington came from Philip Randolph, and in 1962 he hired Rustin as the main organizer. On August 28, 1963, all his work came to fruition, with 200,000 people attending.
In 1964, he directed a one-day student boycott of New York City's public schools to protest against racial imbalances in that system. Rustin subsequently served as president of the A. Philip Randolph Institute, a civil rights organization in New York City from 1966 to 1979.
Rustin died in 1987, but in 2013 he was posthumously given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama. The award was accepted by his Walter Neagle, who currently manages his estate.
That's all for the news, folks. Have a weatherboarded Wednesday and go Hawks!